Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Watch the game.
We
LA
back.
Cheatham. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think this is the first time in 2024 we didn't got the everything lined up and synced and correctly. And we back. We back and we got a new quarterback. We got a whole lot of new to talk about. We got a lot of new things. NBA
Yeah.
playoffs is going. I don't want to watch it, but we here. We back. I still
Yeah,
call it
man.
Comiskey. And they want a new stadium. I still call it Comiskey.
Hey, man. Life has been lifing. I guess that's what they would like to say. In a good way. In a good way. In a good way. In a good way. I must say that. Um, so much have changed. Thought about the last time we actually went on and did this. I think it was around that was the second game. I forget what week that was, but it was the second matchup uh between the Vikings and the Bears. That was the last time we
That
we
might have
went
been
on.
like week 14, I think.
Yeah, it was later second half of the season.
Because they
So
finished
much
with
has
the
changed.
yeah, they played the Browns, they played the Cardinals, and they played the Packers. Yeah, so that's probably like week 15 or something like that.
Yeah, well, I can't remember exactly when, but we back and we here to give a little bit of a reaction to the Bears draft. They only picked up five guys in this particular draft, but they got so much more when you lay it all out. When you talk about Montez Sweat um, on the defensive end and DJ Moore on the offensive end, when you talk about how this draft was impacted, when you talk about the players, but as far as the guys that they picked up on draft day 2024 on the 3 days of the draft. Of course, we know they traded Justin and they went out and they did what everybody thought they would do. And they drafted Caleb Williams and got him a weapon in Rome Odunze. Um, but tonight I want to talk about, not so much about the players because we don't know a whole lot about. I don't know a whole lot about the other guys as far as the right tackle or the offensive tackle,
Oh,
the
from
punter.
Yale. Yeah.
Yeah, the punter. I can't even pronounce the guy's last name. All I know is his first name is Karan, and I think he's from Hinsdale,
Yeah.
Illinois.
Yeah.
And then they jumped in back into the draft and they drafted a edge rusher from Kansas, Austin Booker, 6'4", 240 pounds, a decent edge rusher out of Kansas. Now, but one of the more popular picks outside of Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze being the main, you know,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
main attraction in the whole draft, especially, I mean, for the Bears. But Torrey Taylor,
The
the punter
punter.
out of Iowa, he's a
Yes.
big dude, man. He's a big dude, 6'4", 225 pounds out of Australia, big legged kicker, and has the talent to put the ball in some tricky spots. You know what I'm saying? He can put the defense in some good situations. Is what they saying. So but Caleb told him he won't be.
Punting that much.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
saw
you
that.
won't be punting that
Yeah.
much. Um, Tonight, man, I don't want to unpack everything when you talk about everything that has happened with the trade of Justin Fields. We can get off into that later. But what's your reaction on on what's your reaction on the draft? First of all, Caleb Williams.
All right. So Caleb, I guess a long time coming. Um, even before the Justin Fields trade came down, I think most aware Bears fans were expecting this to be the outcome. Uh, had to be a minute where we had to just mourn Justin and move on to the new era of what things are. I will say, like a lot of people, after the Pivot podcast interview, I started to warm up to him a little bit more. Then, coming down the pike, we get Rome. Rome comes in to add to that receiving core. I wasn't too high on the offensive line pick because he played at Yale. That's not big boy football. But you can't his measurables. You can't pass up the measurables.
Yeah, he's what 6'5", 325 is what I got.
Yeah, so if he had been at any other school, a Power 5 list, if we talking SEC, Big 10, Pac-12, I even say the Big 12, then I'd be much higher on that pick. So I'm interested to see how his career pans out. I don't think they drafted him to come in and be a starter. I think that's just a depth type of guy. Tory Taylor, that's the punter.
Yeah, out of Iowa. Yep, 6'4", 225. Big boy. Look like he might be able to play a little tight end or wide receiver.
He need to do something because I just don't. Even the fact that Caleb texted him and said you won't be punting that much, I kind of think that was an overreach in that spot to draft him. You could have. That's unrestricted free agent territory or your last pick. I would have rather have seen them take edge rusher at that spot, not from Kansas, because again, Kansas, that's not big boy football. When we talk about Kansas, we talking about Rock Chalk Jayhawk, and we talking about Bill Self. We're not talking about their football team. So I would like to have seen them use that pick on the edge rusher in the 4th round. And then, but I am glad that they did take at least a defensive player just for depth purposes. And let's see how we go. I mean, again, I'm a Justin guy. I'll say that. Y'all know I'm a Justin guy, but I realize the page turns. I'm a Bear fan first, so I got to see how this plays out.
You look here, man. When I talk about Caleb Williams, 6 foot, 215 pounds, I'm not a huge fan of the shorter quarterback. And that puts me in a mode where I'm just in wait and see mode. I'm not hyped. I'm not really into a lot of the hype. Myself, probably you not as much, but I'm very much so plugged into a lot of social media platforms where you talk about Bears, you know what I'm saying, and just fan reactions. I'm getting
I
a
be
lot
in
of
the
different
streets, so
friends.
I hear them. Yeah, I'm out. So
Well, I'm not on X. I don't know, is that what they calling it now?
Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not on that platform at all. But I'm on quite a few Facebook platforms and a couple fan groups. A lot more than a couple fan groups, and I'm getting this vibe that we are starting to act, including with the local sports media, radio shows, sports talk radio shows. We're starting to act a lot like the fans in Cleveland. And if you're a young Bears fan, I can understand it. I get it. Because I mean, I've been a Bear fan since 1982. I'm going to date 1982, probably before then, because Walter Payton is the reason why I'm a Bear fan to this day. But I've seen so much, and it's like when there's something you just don't like. Like if you don't like extra pickles on your burger, they can't just make you eat the extra pickles.
Right.
So when it comes to Caleb Williams, I'm not a big fan of the shorter quarterback. So you can't just change that. I see the talent, great college quarterback, but I just got to see it at the next level. So I'm definitely in prove it mode. I'm way past buying jerseys. I think I've covered that over the
Yeah,
course
yeah.
of time.
So no number 18 coming for you.
No number 18, no more jerseys for me. Period. Because it will be a throwback. It may be a throwback in 2 to 3 years anyway. And I mean that goes across sports. Now, like I said, with Justin, I'm in a okay, show me. Show me. And I kind of got caught up in a lot of the rumor mill, if you want to say, from them saying dad wanted a
Piece of the
shares or
franchise.
whatever team
Yeah,
of the franchise. And then the Bears came out and the media had to come out and they had to debunk that. Okay. And if you be patient with me now, it's a lot of buildup. We talking about months way before the college football season started. That was one of the first things you heard.
right.
Okay, that you had that. Then it was the we don't Colin Cowherd. We don't know. I'm not sure if the Bears. I'm not sure if the Caleb camp wants to be in Chicago.
Right.
Then they had to come and debunk that. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not fair to Caleb, but you get where I'm going, and I'm like, even what all the way down to the way he plays the game, the off script and the hero ball and all of this. A lot of criticism has been laid on this young man, as successful as he was in college, not being able to beat the top 25, didn't perform well against top 25 college football teams. A lot to unpack with Caleb Williams. But it's a lot of red flags. And what I'm saying is with the red flags is a lot of times something always has a way of showing itself to be true.
Right.
So that's why I'm in wait and see mode. I don't question the talent. I question the process, and that goes from coaching to player, coaching to player. So I'm in wait and see mode with Caleb. Rome Meduze, if I had my pick, it would have been Marvin Harrison Jr.
He was off the board though. Yeah,
Yeah, he was off. He was off the board. I mean, that's what I wanted.
yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know if I would have necessarily went up to go get him and
Right, right. Not it's
mortgage
not
mortgage yeah
not
mortgage the
especially when
future.
Rome was there. Yeah.
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 Um. So yeah, I wasn't gonna be willing to move up to go get Marvin, so he was off the board at number 4. Um. The one wide receiver I do like in this draft is Xavier Leggett.
Xavier Leggett. That's a name I ain't heard.
Xavier Leggett out of South Carolina. I'll get into him a little later. But okay, so the Roma Duze, we saw what he did, but it's Pac-12 football. It
Yeah.
was Pac-12 football. That's another reason why I'm not. I'm just in wait and see mode. You flip the calendar from Saturday to Sunday, and let's see what happens.
Right. Right.
I've seen too much to buy into the hype. I do understand I do understand if you have not seen if you wasn't around and you know I may be speaking for you. You were born when the Bears won the Super Bowl in
Yeah, I was
'85, but
two.
but you don't. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I'm saying?
remember.
You.
Yeah.
I can remember exactly where I watched the game, who I was with, and all that. So I get it. If you've been around that long to see and comprehend what you saw that night, at this point, I don't see a reason to be hyped up unless it's your job to sell it. But
Right.
if that ain't what we doing, then watch the game. So I'm just improving mode. I'm really improving mode. Now, as far as you was talking about the interview you did on the pivot.
Yeah.
I hope you had an opportunity to see that whole thing. I mean, I had a hard time finishing it because it was a real low key. But the things I took away from it was I walked away with a lot of respect for Caleb Williams and his family, and he did his best to try and explain a lot of the things that was being said about him. But that's what I walked away from. The kid come from good upbringing. They had a plan, they worked the plan, and this is where we at in the plan. First round pick, first pick in the draft. We've been hearing about the kid for 2 years. He could have went first overall in 2023 draft. Okay, as the Heisman Trophy winner. Um, but like I said, I just gotta wait and see, man. I mean, 6 foot, 215 pounds. That's just like saying DJ Moore's back there playing quarterback.
Yeah,
So I gotta see it. I just really gotta see it.
yeah, his job is to go out there and run some routes. It's a couple things you said that when you touched on Rome Odunze. I thought his name was Roma Odunze, but they
Yeah.
were running it together, Roma Odunze. So
Yeah.
with him, yeah, he played in the Pac-12, but the Pac-12 probably had arguably one of the best years on the football field as far as the product they.
Offense.
Well, no,
Offense.
because some of them games was high 30s, and
That's what I'm saying.
that'll translate though. That'll translate because you see some of that in the NFL sometimes too. So I'm not.
Okay.
It wasn't wide open like the Big 12 because the Big 12 is no defense there, and
Okay.
that's where Patrick Mahomes come from. But bringing Rome in, you got to think Mooney's gone. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mooney's out of
Yeah,
there.
Mooney's in Atlanta.
Okay, so
They
Mooney
did some
is.
interesting things in the draft too. But yeah,
We
Mooney's in
gonna get to
Atlanta.
them. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you got DJ Moore. I'm sure he'll be the one. Keenan will be the two. Keenan, how many years do we think he got left? We don't know. But Rome comes in. He can learn under these guys and then step into that, I guess, number 2 role. So I like picking up Rome. And Ryan Poles told us from the beginning he had to strip this thing down to build it up. And he stuck to what he said, which I'm fine with. The only hiccup is he got rid of our guy that we wanted to see at the helm, being the trigger man. But when you look at it as a whole, the Bears and the fan base, and I think even the organization was scarred from trading up to take Mitch and not taking Mahomes or Deshaun. Then you go into last year's draft. You traded the pick away and you didn't get Bryce. And then CJ Stroud comes out and he has one hell of a rookie year. So the writing was on the wall. They was not going to make that mistake 3 times in a row. And what really did Justin in was he was coming up on a contract. As much as we love Justin, we cannot justify paying $45 million for that. We
Yeah.
just couldn't.
No.
So yeah, we couldn't. So
Yeah.
everything was pointing towards Caleb. So we bringing this thing in fresh. I like putting him and Caleb and Rome on the same timeline. I still got questions why we didn't do that with the head coach. So everybody was on the same timeline. But
Yeah.
like you said, we in wait and see mode. We got the draft done. We've been hearing Caleb been coming for since before the season. Now
Yeah.
he's here, and we just gotta wait and see. And like I said, I'm out, and I'm talking to people, and I'm hearing what they're saying, and the they believe in the hype. They drinking the Kool-Aid, and I get it because you said 1985.
Yeah.
I was 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just the Packers beating us every year and us just not being relevant and us, just pissing it down our legs in games we should win so we can get in the playoff. We got to win 2. What year was that? We had 2 games left. All we had to do was win 1 to get in the playoffs. And we didn't do it like people, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And people just so tired of that they just willing to go on the hype train. And I was, one guy told me, he said, if Caleb Williams, this is what he's expecting, 4,500 yards and over 30 TDs this year.
40? 4,500? Okay,
Yes.
go ahead. All right.
Bears ain't never had that in the history of the franchise. The leader is Eric Kramer, I think, with 38-30.
Okay.
38-38 in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, yo, he's still a rookie, man. Like you don't just roll out the bed. I don't care how talented you are, and just come and throw 4,500 yards in the league. It just don't
Yeah.
happen like that. And
Yeah.
30 plus CJ Stroud had one of the greatest seasons as a rookie quarterback ever. He threw 23 touchdowns and 5 picks.
Yeah. The most impressive thing, it's impressive to throw the touchdowns, don't get me wrong, but the 5 picks for a rookie, that's very impressive.
And,
Um,
and we can only hope for that because it's going to be some clunkers here and there.
yeah.
I'm not even expecting the Bears to make the playoffs this year. I'm saying they're going to be 9-8.
Well, let me put it to you this way. We talking about expectations, reactions, and expectations. So I'm glad you brought up CJ Stroud. Once again, it's unfair to Caleb to expect for him to do exactly what CJ Stroud done because of how rare it was.
Thank you.
Okay? And I know Ryan Pros has done a great job building the team around him, but and I'll get into a lot of the Ryan Poles and Eberflus and the new offensive coordinator in another show because I got we're gonna have time for that one day. But it's unfair. He's the only one. Caleb Williams. They drafted 5 guys.
Mm-hmm.
If Roma Dunze comes in, there's going to be a legitimate learning process for him that we are going to accept
Oh, yeah.
because of the depth of the position with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. You know what I'm saying? And who else? Who knows who else
He
steps up?
he
Maybe we
wasn't
may,
tough.
this might hey Caleb might be the guy to unlock Valus.
Oh,
Who knows?
right. His name is Velvet.
Caleb might come in here and figure out what he might help Valus in his contract year. Who knows? But what I'm saying is Caleb is the one that's coming into the season with the most expectations to show. He's got to be. Look, we
Bigger
saw
than life.
3 years. We saw 3 years of Justin Fields. Okay, under so many bad circumstances, and even in that, Justin looked. He was a human highlight reel amongst a lot of losing.
Right.
Caleb not only has to. I don't know if they're going to expect Caleb to wow and woo
They are.
as much as Jalen did, as much as being effective. And then, are you going to ask him to go out and throw the ball all over the yard, or are you going to spoon feed the kid? And I'm talking about from weeks 1 through 4, and then say we're going to grow from 1 through 4, and then we go from weeks 4 through 8. There's a progress, and there's a process. What's the process? Because if you think you're gonna run this kid out there and he's gonna be slinging it all over the yard, I just don't think that's gonna be too successful. I know he's got the weapons. There's people that think you got a bunch of new play. You got Keenan Allen, new player. Everett, new
Yep.
player.
Swift.
Caleb, new player. Swift, new player. Come on, man. At some point, new offensive coordinator. You know, come on, man.
But
Where's
that
the expectation for the team? And then the expectation for the team and expectations for Caleb is two different things.
it's funny you bring that up because that's something I wanted to bring up. The the Bears, we are so used to the Bears being local coverage because we always say don't pay attention to what you hear the national media's out pundits say because they're not tapped in. But with the Bears having the #1 pick and Caleb going there and being a generational talent, all eyes gonna be on the Bears. And so I sit here now and I'm saying, okay, is the Bears organization and coaching staff really able to lock in and be able to block out that noise and do what's best for this football team? Or are they going to fall, to the wayside and be like, well, we got all these new weapons. We got to show them what we can do. We out here, baby. What's up? New stadium coming. $4 billion. Y'all paying for it too. They and that's my hesitation with it. And I really feel like, because they sitting back and they sitting pretty. What is it? They like sitting in the catbird seat right now. You look at Ryan Poles, now he's sitting back. He might as well be with Mike Jordan smoking a cigar like they won a championship for what he just did. They really feeling themselves right now. And if that comes into OTA, rookie mini camp and OTAs, it's gonna bleed into the season. Trust me, because I'm telling you, I see it written all on them. They gonna come out and they gonna try and look. I ain't gonna say like the greatest show on turf. But they gonna try and put all these weapons to use early and often and show we got the trigger man back here. Yeah. Chicago, get your Super Bowl tickets.
And me, that's what I'm saying. When you throw the stadium deal in there, the Bears, Caleb Williams, the Chicago Bears have so much to play for than just winning the NFC North, getting into the playoffs. They have to go out and put out a product that may have to help sell the stadium plan.
Yeah.
And maybe if the fan base in the city can get so drunk off winning, maybe they just foot the bill, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that just goes to show you how much pressure's really on Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears football organization. It's just unfair to Caleb Williams. Now, would you be in favor? And it probably won't happen because the name that's being buzzed around is Ryan Tannehill. Bringing in a veteran. But I don't think the Bears want to do that. I think they want Caleb to be the day one starter.
Yeah. I mean, I would bring Tannehill in for a backup role, but it's understood when you come in, this is Caleb's job because they can't even play that game after everything they done took us through. Caleb got to be out there week one, day one, first play, slinging it. And so I would get Tannehill as a backup because that's probably the most valued position next to quarterback is your backup. Because if you ain't got nobody serviceable, that's your season right there.
Mm-hmm. So also, how many games do you expect Caleb Williams to play? 17 games out the season. I mean, and then not only that, you look at the weapons he's got. We talked about Rome Odunze, and you talk about Keenan Allen. Health, not just with these guys, not with Rome because he's a young spry guy, but there's going to be a learning curve with him. How healthy can Keenan Allen stay, or can he be throughout the course of the season? How are they going to scheme up DJ Moore in this new offense? Then, one of the biggest reasons I think Swift was ready to get out of Philly because of this, what goes up under a lot of people's nose. When you get in the red zone, preferably near the goal line, I'm saying 5 yards, the 5-yard line and in.
Mm-hmm.
The Philadelphia Eagles pushed Jalen Hurts all season long. And if you're Swift, you gobbling up the yards. But man, come on, man. Running backs want to hit their head on the goalposts.
Yeah.
Swift only had 5 touchdowns last year.
Yeah.
5 rushing touchdowns last year. So I believe, and I think Swift is from Philly. So he probably went home thinking, man, I'm at the crib. They just came off the Super Bowl run. I'm in. And after one season, wait a minute, he only spent one season?
He was only there 1 year. Yeah. I think think, now correct me if I think the Lions traded him there.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he didn't
I'm not
sign
sure
there.
about
Yeah, I
that,
don't.
but
Yeah,
that's what I'm
I'll look
saying.
it
Like,
up.
damn, let me get the hell out of here. And that's got to be the reason why he didn't get a chance to score the touchdowns. Feed me. You know how Ezekiel Elliott used to be like,
Yeah,
that's man, everybody wants. I mean, you get in the you get near the goal line. The backs the backs want the ball, man. Especially if I done gobbled up the yards to get us down here. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think one of the biggest reasons why Swift was willing to come to Chicago, hoping that he could get a chance to run the football. But when you're looking at guys like DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet, just to name a few, you wonder if he's going to be put in the same situation again. Now, we know he's good catching the ball out of the backfield, but scoring touchdowns should be a premium to him unless winning overtakes his goals. But you got to think that he wanted to score
yeah.
touchdowns.
He wanted to get. Yeah, he was traded from the Lions to the Eagles for a 7th-round pick in 2023, I think, in the draft last year. So he was with the Lions and got traded, and then I guess free agency came over here. But
Yeah.
like you said, is I don't even expect to see, I guess, a lot of what you said, tush pushing in the end zone or turn around.
Yeah.
Like we got, not max protection, but our goal line set out there, turn around, hand it to Khalil. Khalil's still on the roster, right?
Yeah, Khalil. Well,
Yeah,
it was questioned whether or not they may want to trade him, but they kept him. Oh, you see Ezekiel Elliott re-signed with the
the
Cowboys.
Cowboy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, but there was some rumors that Khalil Herbert could have gotten traded to the Cowboys because they need another running back. But yeah, I guess Zeke gonna get the job done. But yeah, he's still on the roster. Um, there's so much to think about. The competition element of it. Tyson Bagent being the backup. Tyson Bagent being the backup. Now see, Tyson coming into the season had a chance to play in 4 games.
All right.
Okay. When they get into training camp, huh? So much pressure on Caleb, bro. So much pressure on Caleb because the first, this the thing, man. If you start him day one,
Which he will.
which I believe also, I believe that's what they want to do. But if you start him day one, week one, when does the honeymoon is going on right now?
Right.
And you cannot expect for the offense to be up and running day one, week one, because there's so many new parts. Coordinator, quarterback, 2 new wide receivers, new
New
tight
tight end.
end, man, whole new offense, man. Hey, a lot of I just keep getting back to how much pressure is really gonna be on Caleb.
Hey,
I
what
mean,
just too much is given, much is required. I mean,
yeah,
he basically coming in like LeBron in '03.
yeah,
That's
but yeah,
that's the only thing I can really compare it to because
yeah,
everybody's saying he's probably the most hyped prospect since Andrew Luck. I don't remember Andrew Luck coming in with this much fanfare,
no,
and I
no,
get it.
no,
Social
Mm.
media and all that was different then.
yeah,
Everybody had their outlets,
there,
but I don't.
there,
Yeah,
there was none really. I mean, not compared to what we got today.
yeah. So, I mean, and I think he's self aware. He knows like it's on him to make this thing. He knows he's the linchpin to all this. The Bears have to win games because of him. Not he can't just go along for the ride. He knows that.
Man, you keep hitting me in the soul, man. Now now the key word was because of.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is, I don't think they have to win because of him right away. They just have to win.
Well,
And
that
and
goes
that's
back to
where
what's they outlook. What are they thinking? Are they slow
that's what I'm
stepping it?
saying.
Is it a
And that's where
process?
DeAndre
Yeah,
Swift comes in. That's where Cole Kmet comes in and scheming up the guys to not make so many spectacular plays, but just put him in position to be make plays and score points and not put the defense in bad situations. Man, look, we can go on and on all night. So we talking about expectations for this team. Um, talking about okay, two undrafted rookies that I was talking. I want to mention. They got a quarterback, Austin Reed, 6'2", 220 pounds, undrafted rookie free agent out of Western Kentucky, and Ian Wheeler, uh, 5'11", 205 pounds, out of Howard.
What
Now
position?
he's a running back.
Okay.
Those are two guys that I've seen some tape. I've seen some highlights on them. I like those guys. Going to be interesting to see what happens with them through camp. Just to mention a couple more rookies. Like I say, don't know a whole lot about Karan, the offensive tackle. Uh, your man Tory Taylor on the score 670. Man, they talked about this dude. Hall and Mully and Hall talked about this dude quite a bit this morning. I think Mully wanted to draft the guy, and he felt really good when they made the pick. But Tory Taylor out of Australia, I mean, he's gaining a little popularity. Got that nice Australian accent. You know what I'm saying? In the city of Chicago,
That's
yeah,
how crazy. That's how like starved we are right now. Like
yeah,
you just said on 670, they went over and they was talking about it on Carmen Yurko too. But they was down on the pick. Like just go
yeah.
get any
They
kicker or whatever.
they
Yeah.
they thought it was a reach. You
Yeah, and
talking
I did
about
too. Yeah.
you talking about which show you talking about?
Carmen Yurko
Cap.
thought it was no, I ain't watched
Okay.
Cap. I don't never really watch
Okay.
Cap and J Hood, but Carmen
Yeah.
Yurko, they was like, just go get anybody to punt the ball. That's
Yeah.
that's a low need, and that's what I was saying. Like I would have rather have seen them take edge rusher in that spot. More I guess higher prospect than what they got for the fifth round guy out of Kansas.
Okay. Um, I really don't think Tory Taylor would have ended up being a free agent, undrafted free agent. I don't think he would have lasted that long.
Well, let the
The guy.
Falcons take him. I don't.
Yeah. Well. All I'm saying is he wouldn't have been there. And I get where you coming from, but he wouldn't have made it out of the draft. I'm just going based on the popularity going in, and then how popular he is coming out. It's like Ryan Poles had to know that I can't wait for this dude to fall. They calling him a weapon. They calling him a weapon for the defense. So if you're looking at it like that, okay. And when you think about it, there's probably quite a few edge rushers with them having limited spots in the draft that they probably wanted, but they couldn't go up and get.
And
They
get
didn't
him.
want to
Yeah.
mortgage the first future. Like I say, they jumped back in to get Austin Booker. Now this guy, they saying that if he'd have stayed at Kansas, if he would
He'd
have
have been
stayed at
a late
Kansas,
first
he could have
rounder.
been,
Yeah.
yeah, he could have been the first rounder. So maybe that's how Ryan Poles was going. And I'm gonna go get the kid now. He's there. He's available. Let me get him now. Let's develop him, and maybe he'll pop. And
But the flip side is they saying that next year's draft class across the board is going to be down from this draft class. So
I got it.
obviously he would elevate to a higher status if it's
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
yeah, that don't do nothing for me. Like,
yeah. Well, we'll see in the preseason. I mean, I'm
oh,
pretty sure he's gonna get an opportunity to show himself. We'll see in the preseason. Um, anything because I want to give you a chance to touch on things outside of the Bears. Uh, when you talk about the draft, what in particular stood out for you outside of the Bears and Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze?
you got because everybody's talking about this how the Falcons just botched that whole thing. That don't make no kind of sense what they did, where they just gave 180 mil to Kirk Cousins, and then you go draft a 24-year-old quarterback, and you're
Yeah,
saying hopefully Kirk plays so well he don't even hit the field. So now he's damn near 30 before he hits the field.
Yeah.
That's your
Yep.
scenario. And just to hear how they trying to moonwalk and spin the scenario, like y'all have no clue what y'all doing. Okay, no
Yeah.
clue what y'all doing. That was one of the takeaways.
Yeah.
With my Michigan guys coming out, I was
Yep.
glad to see Sanistrill, Mike Sanistrill, the cornerback, get taken in the second round. I didn't think he was gonna go that high to the command.
Mm.
I hate he went to the Commanders because you know how I feel about them, just the Redskins football team Commanders.
Yeah.
I hate their colors. I hate their name. I hate everything about them. Like it just don't
Yeah.
work for me. Um,
Mm.
JJ getting drafted early. That's one. Again, I'm in wait and see mode because he was not asked to throw the football that much at Michigan. It was turnaround handed to Blake Corum, and we need you to make maybe 1 or 2 throws a game
Yep.
and use your athleticism. I
Mm-hmm.
know he's got the arm. I know he can make the throws, but he's a little slight on his build. I can say this now. I got a national championship.
And
Oh yeah, we
and
national
young.
champions. Yeah, we
And
national
young.
champions. We still
Yeah.
national champions.
Mm-hmm.
Got our rings.
Yeah.
But so me, I think JJ went too high. I think JJ probably should have been more of a late first round or early second round pick.
Yep.
That's just
Yep.
me.
Yeah.
I'm honest on my guys.
Yeah.
I thought the Cowboys was gonna take Blake Corum. They passed on him, and Blake ended up in
The Rams. He ended up with the
right.
Rams.
Yeah.
And a lot of I think Colin Cowherd he was upset that Jim Harbaugh didn't get a chance to get Blake Corum, but he ended up in L.A. on the other team. You know what I'm saying?
Harbaugh did take Junior Colston, hit one of his
Yeah.
linebackers. Yeah,
Yeah, he
So,
did. Yeah. Um. So much to talk about, man. It's like, and when we get into closer to the season, as you can see, I'm repping this logo back here, man, because I just
are you gonna put it out there? Are you gonna let them? Because listen, I've been very vocal of saying I am boycotting the Miami Heat this year because they didn't get the Dame trade. I wanted them to lose the play. First of all, I didn't even want them to be in the play-in tournament or whatever that thing was. I wanted them to lose then. I can't stand the Bulls. I wanted the Bulls to beat them. I wish they would have got swept and they messed around and won game 2 versus Boston. Like, I am so not fooling with the Miami Heat this year because Pat Riley tells me every summer he's getting the whale. Here was the whale. He ain't landing. And the whale wanted to come play for you in your fish tank. Okay. So, with that being said, are you going to go on record and announce your stance on the Chicago Bears and how you will fan this year?
well, um, I've been a Bear fan for so long, man, and I've never felt this way. I'm anxious to see it happen. I'm anxious to see them hit the field. I'm anxious to see them get on the field and show me. But when you've been here long enough to see Cade McNown, Rex Grossman, and the reason why I say those two quarterbacks is because those guys were similar in stature when you talk about Caleb Williams.
And first round picks, if memory serves me correctly.
Yes, they were. Not as high,
Yeah.
but they were first round picks. And didn't come in with the expectations that Caleb is coming in with, in the hype, living in a totally different time, and at this point with social media and so many people with opinions, including us, that has an opportunity to voice your opinion and get it out there. But when I look at 6 foot, 215 pounds, the talent is undeniable. But I don't know about the durability. And durability from Saturday to Sunday is two different things. And when then to get off that point is interesting because I say that because Roger Goodell want to push to the 18 games. Just to mention that, we can get into that later. But the durability of the kid is going to be in question as well. I mean, hey, I've thought about all the short quarterbacks that played for the Bears. Doug Flutie played for the Bears. Mike Dicker went out and got Doug Flutie. I'm just not a big fan. Now, don't get me wrong. Drew Brees did his thing, and uh, Russell Wilson, he did his thing. Even Michael Vick. Michael Vick was what 6'1", 6'1", 6. Gonna say about 6'1", 6'2", maybe. But I'm just not a fan of the small quarterback. It's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of Kyler Murray. And you see how his durability has, how he's taken some hits over the years, and he's been uh not healthy during some key points of the season for the Arizona Cardinals. But I'm just not a big fan of the shorter statured quarterbacks. Now, right now, PN, I guess he's having some technical issues, but just to keep continue to talk about that with the expectations of Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears. I'm just keeping it. I'm just keeping my expectations like I just want to wait and see. So many moving parts, so many new parts that has been added to this team. And I'm just waiting. I'm just in wait and see mode. I've seen so much as a Bear fan, and I just can't jump on the hype train just yet. And I think that just coming and putting everything in perspective. I think part of that is me being able to coach youth sports and just knowing the process that it takes to develop talent and put guys in the right situation to succeed. And that's what I have to see. I have to see that now. I have to see that now because we saw what happened with Justin. It was Justin, and it was a little bit of Justin. It was a little bit of coaching. You got to mesh the two. So, like I say, I can't get over the 6 foot 215. Caleb can prove me wrong, so I'm in improvement mode with Caleb. Just I'm in improvement mode with Shane Waldron too. You know what I'm saying, the offensive coordinator. So
See, one thing you said though, and I think might actually work out. You said his durability factor at being, his stature. I
mhm.
actually think that he'll be more available than Justin, just because one, Justin held the ball too long. Let's just call a spade a spade. He did,
Okay, yeah,
and Justin was out, he was mobile. He was running a lot. He was taking a lot of hits he shouldn't have took.
yeah,
So, because that was one of your big criticisms, like Dart to go to the sideline, quit, trying
yeah,
to cut
yeah,
it back
yeah.
to the middle of the
Hmm.
field. So I
Hmm.
think because Caleb isn't a runner, I think he'll be more durable and he won't miss as many games as Justin. I think Justin missed how many games? 4 games last year.
For
So
this year, for last year, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
so I'm putting the under. If Caleb starts, they played what 17 games. I'm gonna say
17.
he's gonna start 15 of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So 3 games. Justin missed 4. You saying he'll miss 3? I just think at some
No,
point
I'm
in
saying he's
time.
gonna miss two, right? They play 17 games.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You're right. You're saying
yeah.
2, so half as many as Justin. I'm thinking about that 18. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about them 18 games that your boy Roger Goodell already talking about trying to get. He trying to move the Super Bowl closer to the President's holiday and to get that 3-day weekend in. So much to
Oh,
talk about, man.
he
So
going
much to
crazy.
talk about.
Is he talking about
Um,
shortening the preseason by doing that though?
yeah,
It's
two
only go
games, two
two
games.
preseason.
Yeah.
Okay,
Now, we running up on time, and we both gonna be hitting that midnight oil in a minute.
we got to.
But look, check this out. Before we talked about JJ McCarthy
Hmm.
going to the Vikings, and you think it was probably a reach. And he's going to the Vikings. I personally think he should probably sit a year. They got Sam Darnold in Minnesota, so we don't know Sam Darnold. Can he can he help the Vikings out in the process of boosting his career and giving JJ McCarthy the opportunity to sit back and learn? We'll see. But another guy that was probably high on the Bears list from a defensive perspective was Dallas Turner. He ended up going to the Vikings,
Hmm.
a game wrecker from Alabama. And that was another guy, one of the guys in the draft that especially going into the division, you want to keep an eye on him. Dallas Turner, you know, edge rusher. I think he's a linebacker edge rusher out of
Edge,
Alabama.
edge, yeah.
So him, and then when you talk about the Carolina Panthers in the pick in the trade that went down last year before the 2023 draft,
Hmm.
and then they went out and they got Bryce Young, another small quarterback, but he didn't have much to work with in Carolina. Okay, but I'm just going. Carolina didn't do too bad in this draft.
This year,
They
yeah,
really did.
yeah, yeah.
I think they had 7 picks, but I'm just gonna name a few. So they go out and they trade the pick and they trade up to go get Bryce Young. They go get Bryce Young, the wide receiver that I really wanted. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't know if I would have picked him at number 9, but Xavier Leggett, man, when you get a chance, look up some of the dude's highlights out of South Carolina. Okay.
That was their first pick this year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they picked him at the end of the first, at the early in the first, like late first round, early second round. I'm not sure. You had to look up the draft status, but Xavier
He was
Leggett out of
32.
South Carolina.
He was the
Okay,
last
so
pick of the first round.
Xavier Leggett, weapon, weapon for Bryce Young. Then they go and you get Jonathan Brooks, running back out of Texas,
Right.
weapon for Bryce Young. Then they go and they stay in Texas and they go get Jatavion Sanders. Look this dude up. Look these dudes up. Jatavion Sanders, tight end out of Texas. Look, the Carolina Panthers didn't do too bad. And when you think about the division,
Obviously, the Falcons don't know anybody can have that division.
you got
Honestly.
the Falcons, the Buccaneers,
Saints.
the Saints, and the Carolina Panthers.
Yep,
Didn't Carolina beat the Houston Texans last season?
they did.
Yeah. So we just, man, the NFL, man, they just got such a wonderful product.
Man,
But that was something I was like, look, I say, after all this talk with the Carolina Panthers, when they everybody talking about how bad they were and how bad Bryce Young was. Everybody knows Bryce Young didn't have anything to work with
he
in
had
Carolina.
old ass Adam Thielen and
Yeah,
Miles Sanders. That's what he had.
yeah. He didn't have much. Miles Sanders may have a little bit in the tank, might be right in the middle of his prime, but they went and got the boy some weapons. When you get a chance, you look at some of Xavier Leggett's highlights. Jonathan Brooks, maybe in the middle of the road, you know what I'm saying? Depth at the running back position. Jatavion Sanders, weapon, bro. Weapon. Weapon at the tight end position. I think the Carolina Panthers, even though, we went out and got their quarterback last year, this year they went into the draft and they got him some weapons.
To build a team. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can see them winning a few more games next year. I'm not
What?
gonna say exactly the Chicago Bears with some of the things they've done to their offense, but Bryce Young, he's got him some weapons too, and some weapons on the young end that he could grow with and really build chemistry with over the next 3 to 4 years.
And the thing with Carolina is their organization intact, because they fired Frank Wright last year. That was his first year there. They fired him. The owner seems to be impulsive. So do they have the structure that's going to trickle down to the coaching staff and to the field? That's the biggest question with them. Obviously, we expect improvements from them, but they was trash last year, and we appreciate y'all being trash so we can really take advantage of y'all giving us that pick last year.
Yeah.
Sorry, Justin. Sorry.
Hmm. Hmm. Hey, so much to talk about. Like I said, stay tuned because I talked to you about it. We're gonna have a show specifically for Justin. Probably won't be as long as tonight. Tonight we just catching up, man. So much to talk about, but I think just to give people insight on what I want to talk about. You know, you can touch on some things. Is in the future, the near future, very near future. I'm talking about the next few days to weeks. Um, Evaluating the job that Ryan Poles has done up to this point, and evaluating where Matt Eberflus and this coaching staff is right now, because I think Ryan Poles has done a great job putting himself in position to to say that he's put this organization in position to be successful. Matt Eberflus, on the other hand, is probably in another situation. If I could, that's the least I could say. And I'm not gonna give it up all tonight. I just wanna, if you're watching, I'm gonna shout out my man Michael Jones. And Michael Jones, my cuz J.M. Sanders, Edwin Rosado, the East Chicago Central boys soccer coach. I coached Edwin when he was in middle school. He played for me, man. He played for me in middle school, played basketball for me. And I told Edwin when he was a middle school player, when he wasn't the best ball player, I say, man, when you get to high school, you're gonna have more options. And don't get me wrong, because Edwin played on a sectional championship basketball team too. So he did get a chance to play in high school. But I'm proud of that young man because he's the head soccer coach at East Chicago Central High School and in East Chicago, Indiana. Young dude too, man. Probably, Edwin might be about anywhere between 23, 24 years old. So that's really young. Um, for a young man to be taking on a program of any sort.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
he's on a
So
fast track,
yeah,
especially if you get an opportunity that early.
yeah, for sure. John Tell Jackson, he's stuck down in Indianapolis, you know what I'm saying? And he big Bear fan, but he getting that paper in Indianapolis. That's where the money took him. So that's where he getting it in at. So John Tell was on tonight. And like I say, I gotta do a better job of recognizing these people earlier, but it's been real, Pen. Um, if you could put a number of wins very early,
Mm-hmm.
a number of wins with the Chicago Bears, we went 7-10 last season. What with the additions that they've made, what would you say for this season, 2024?
Now I'm saying I know schedule hasn't really. We know who we're gonna play. We just don't know
Yeah,
which order.
yeah.
And so I'm saying this before the schedule comes out. So I reserve the right to change
To
my
change it.
mind
Yeah,
later. But right now, what
yeah.
I'm saying 9-8. I'm
The
saying
too
nine.
early prediction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying 9-8 right now.
Nine
I
inning.
right on the cusp of being a wild card. If some things break right, maybe they get in. But yeah, I'm 9-8. They were 7-10 last year. I think we'll see a 2-game improvement.
Mhm. Well, it's the NFL. It's a lot of moving parts that they just put in place.
If you say 17-0, I'm gonna fall out.
Oh no, no. I got too many. I got way too many questions for that, and I ain't in on the hype. So I'm gonna say you said 9-8.
9-8.
I'm gonna say 8-9.
I think that's a very realistic answer. That's very. If people say anywhere from 8 to 10, okay, I can swallow that. But if they be talking 11, 12, 4,500 yards, 30 plus touchdowns,
Yeah.
you probably not good at Madden. That's what I'm thinking when they say shit like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, you probably too damn good. You probably too damn good at Madden. If you could take this roster on Madden and do that,
On
My
Madden,
hat,
yeah.
my hats off to you. Which bring me, man. I think, man, the another thing to look forward to is the college football game coming out this summer.
Oh,
So
I can't wait. Yeah.
I got to get ready for that too. What is it going to be?
I think
NCAA
it's just EA Sports
college
college football. Yeah.
college football 25. I can't wait
Yeah.
for that. But so since we put down some early or too early expectations on the record, I say 8-9. You say 9-8. So that leads us to next time when we talk. We'll be talking about Ryan Poles, and we might not put the two shows together. We don't know yet. But Ryan Poles, evaluation of Ryan Poles, and then we're going to talk about Matt Eberflus and the coaching staff. So I believe it gives us something to look forward to while we sleepwalking through these NBA playoffs.
You said it. You said
Uh,
it.
yeah, well, I think with the NBA playoffs, once they get down to the conference finals, if anybody decides to guard anybody, then I'll be interested. Watch the game, sports. It's been a long time, man. We miss you guys, and got a lot to talk about. We'll be looking forward to doing it real soon.
We out.